This question requires a completely meaning-based attack. As you read through the question, you might not find a specific attack point to apply any of the 7 concepts that are primarily tested. So that's when you know you have to again check for logical and construction aspects. And to quickly realize the logic or the meaning of the sentence, we just need to focus on what the subject of the particular sentence is and what the main verb is, so that we can try to capture the meaning effectively. So try to ignore a lot of unnecessary parts as you read through the sentence, and you will notice that the main subject here is the similarity, and the main verb will be can be explained. So this similarity can be explained. But what we notice here is the usage of explained as. Now, how have you used explained as before? For example, we can say the mutation can be explained as follows. And after writing this, you will write various explanations for the mutation. So when we use explained as, what you're basically trying to do is give a detailed description and provide a lot of information for this mutation itself, and all the points will follow that. This is how explained as should be used. So if we apply that meaning here, the sentence would read, the similarity can be explained as a very rapid movement. So the similarity is a very rapid movement? That doesn't make any sense, does it now? We can put it across as the similarity can be explained by a very rapid movement, but the similarity itself being explained as a rapid movement brings the logic into question. So A does not seem logically fine. A similar mistake is happening in C, that these artifacts are similar is explainable as, so that is again logically incorrect. C goes off. Now let's look at B. These artifacts being similar. Now this construction might strike you as odd, but this is what is called an absolute modifier construction. Absolute modifiers are clause modifiers. So how is the absolute modifier constructed? Let me give you an example. The region's climate has changed a lot, comma, its temperatures varying drastically. So it's a very simple example to make you understand this modifier construction. An absolute modifier is constructed like this. There is a noun followed by a modifier to this noun itself. So over here we're using the present participle form of vary, and this varying drastically, it's modifying the noun temperatures. But the purpose of an absolute modifier is to modify the entire clause here. So why has this region's climate changed a lot? Because its temperatures are varying drastically. So this is one way in which the meaning can be modified. But yes, the meaning has to be impacted, and absolute modifiers can be placed at the beginning or the end of the clause itself. So what we can notice here is a very similar construction. We have this artifacts, which is a noun, and this being, which is again a participle modifier for the artifacts. So that's an absolute modifier. But we can notice that this is not acting as a modifier for this particular clause, because it does not modify the meaning in any way. Because the clause is, one explanation is a very rapid movement. So how can Thule artifacts being similar be a modifier for this particular clause? So this goes off because of that logical problem. Now let's look at D. The subject of D is one explanation. And it goes on to say one explanation for the similarity is that there was a very rapid movement. So as I said before, focus on the subject and the main verb so that you can capture the meaning very fast. So if you go by the logic here, one explanation is that there was a very rapid movement. So nothing seems to be wrong with the logic and construction. Let's hold on to D. One thing that can be quickly caught about answer choice E is the usage of this comma with. I have given a detailed explanation of the usage of with in question 783, so please look that up. And you can understand from that explanation that this usage is incorrect because this with is supposed to act as a descriptor to some entity in the clause before it, but we can see that the subject here is these artifacts, whereas in this with we are actually talking about another entity, one explanation. So since this is not acting as a descriptor to any noun in the previous clause, we know that E does not work. So as I said before, please check out the explanation for question 783. I'm going to throw a link to that question in the description below, and you will understand exactly why the usage of this with is completely invalid here. So this leaves us with the right answer choice, D for Delta.